This past weekend, Steven Santoli took Horus Crystron to YCS Providence and had
great success
by comfortably finishing in the top 8. Now we all love Santoli for his clean deck building and now his innovation. But I've already told you why this deck is good. Link to that in the description. So today, instead of focusing on the why, I'm going to focus on the how by showing you how to play them. Let's get into it. So all of your Horus combos will be about 2 to 3 card combos, and they require you to either open an Imsety plus a King Sarc. Obviously Imsety makes it 2 card, King Sarc makes it 3 card. And then this thing you discard will change your combo as you go along. We've opened up Imsety plus Smyger, which is probably one of the better combinations to start off with. So we'll activate Imsety's effect, pitch in the Smyger to add the King Sarc to our hand, and then we'll draw one. From here you want to activate the King Sarc's effect, or activate King Sarc, and then special summon out the Imsety to your side of the field. You can banish the Smyger to add Inclusion to hand. Activate Inclusion to search for your Salvador. Use King Sarc's effect. In this case we will pitch the Salvador and we will send the other Horus name to grave, in which case he's Happy. Special summon Happy to your side of the field. And then you want to establish an early monster negate by going into photon mode. Now it's important you do this before you activate Salvador's effect, because it has a restriction where if you special summon this card using its effect, you are locked into machines for the turn. So make sure you summon this first, then you'll activate Salvador's effect to target the inclusion, pop in the inclusion to summon itself, and then you want to send 2 Crystron cards from your deck to the graveyard. So we've already used Smyger's effect, so meaning if we want to access the trap we have to send it to directly, and then we want to access Thestaros, so we're going to banish Thirstburn since we have normal summon. Activate Thirstburn's effect, banishing itself to add the Thestaros to hand. Normal summon Thestaros. Special summon out Ellie Skelly using our 2 monsters. Using its effect, we will add one of the banished Crystron cards to hand, or one from grave. In this case we're going for Cluster. You want to use Thestaros in the new chain, banishing itself to destroy Ellie Skelly, summoning out a Salfafnir and a Thestaros. Grave effect of Ellie Skelly to special summon out your Salvador. And from here you want to special summon out Infinity. And then Nova into Infinity. And then you can activate Inclusion to summon back out your boy Ellie Skelly. So what do we have on board? Well, after we set the trap, we have during our opponent's turn a quick synchro with Thestaros, which will I'll probably go into Dawn Dragster for spell trap negate. We have an Omni negate with Infinity, a monster negate with Photon Lord, and a pop 2 with Cluster because we can control Ellie Skelly. And then during our turn, if we detach, we can obviously summon back the Horus we detached, but then we also have the card in hand to discard with King Sarc to get another body on field. Probably your best Horus combo is when you open up Imsety with Inclusion. So we'll start off by activating the Inclusion, using its effect to search for Salvador. From there, you want to use Imsety's effect, pitch in the Salvador to add King Sarc and then draw one. You want to activate the King Sarc and then special summon out the Imsety to your side of the field. You'll then use King Sarc's effect to pitch whatever we added to hand to send your other Horus name to grave. In this case, Happy. Special summon Happy to your side of the field, and before you machine lock yourself, go into Photon mode. Now we'll activate the grave effect of Salvador to pop the Inclusion, summon itself to our side of the field. We'll use its effect to send up to 2 Crystron from our deck to the graveyard. One should be a Thirstburn and the other should be a Smyger. Activate Thirstburn, banishing itself for Thestaros. Normal summon Thestaros and then activate the effect of Smyger to search for Cluster. Synchro into Ellie Skelly. using its effect to add the banished Smyger to hand. Next, you're going to use the grave effect of Thrastaris to destroy the Eliskele to summon 2 from your deck. Normally you would summon the second copy of Thrastaris plus a Self-Apnea, but if you already discarded the Thrastaris, the second copy, because you drew it off Imsety, you would go for Self-Apnea plus Selfador. And then you'll use Eliskele's effect to summon out the Thrastaris. Ideally the one from Banishment. Go into a Dawn Dragster. Activate the effect of Self-Apnea. Pitch in Smyger. Summon itself to the field, destroying the Smyger, using Smyger's effect. Well, not Smyger, Self-Apnea. Summon back out another copy of Self-Apnea. Go into Nova. And then Infinity. Activate the grave effect of Inclusion to summon out Thrastaris to your side of the field. Set the cluster and pass turn. So during our opponent's turn, we have a Spell Trap negate, we have an Omni negate, and we have a Monster negate. Now, if we use this quite early in the turn, its level will drop to 5. We can then use Thrastaris' effect to summon out Citri from deck and immediately synchro into Quarian Candrax, which is going to banish 3. Because we control a Crystron synchro, we can then use Cluster to destroy a further 2. Imsety plus Foolish Barrel is another way you can get things going. So you'll start off by activating the Foolish, and you'll want to send Smyger to grave. You'll use Smyger's effect to search for Inclusion. Activate Inclusion, using its effect to add Sulfur to hand. You'll then Imsety, adding King Sarc, and drawing 1. Activate the King Sarc. Special summon out Imsety to your side of the field. Use King Sarc's effect, pitching what you drew, to send Happy to grave. Summon Happy to your side of the field. Overlay into Photon Lord. Activate Salvador. Pitch 2. So you'll want to send the Trap and Thriswin. Activate Thriswin's effect to add Thrastaris to hand. Normal summon. Synchro into Eliskele. Use its effect on summon to add the Trap from grave to hand. Activate Thrastaris' effect to pop the Eliskele. Summon 2, so Thrastaris plus a Self-Apnea. And then the grave effect of Eliskele to summon out the Salvador. Now from here, there's a few things you can do. You can either make a Dragster and then summon back the other monster so that you can end on Dragster plus Infinity, or you can leave the Thrastaris on your side of the field. So in this case, I think we'll do that. We'll go into Nova early, and then summon out Infinity to the side of the field. Activate Inclusion, summon back out Eliskele to the side of the field. Set cluster, pass turn. So again, we've got a Monster negate, Omni negate, a pop 2, and a quick synchro, probably into a Spell Trap negate, and then follow up during next turn because of King Sarc. Another weird one, but Imsety plus Thriswin gets you there. So as always, you'll start off by leading with Imsety to search for King Sarc, pitching the Thriswin, and drawing 1 on res. You'll then activate the King Sarc and then special summon out Imsety to your side of the field. You'll then activate the Thriswin's effect, banishing itself to search for Smyger. Use King Sarc, pitch the Smyger to send Happy to grave, special Happy, and go into Photon Lord. Activate Smyger. We will add Inclusion to hand. Activate Inclusion to add Salvador. Then activate Salvador's effect. Targeting the inclusion, popping the inclusion to summon itself to your sudden field. You can activate its effect, and since we've used both Thristaros and Thrisfern and Smyger, you want to send a Thristaros and the trap to grave. Activate inclusion, banishing itself to summon out Thristaros to your side of the field. Special summon Ellie, and then on summon effect to add the trap to hand. Grave effect of Thristaros. Pop the Ellie, summon out a Thristaros and a Self-Apnea. And then Ellie-Skelly's effect to summon back out a 5 from grave. Go into Nova. And then into Infinity. Set 1 and pause. So we've got Omni Negate, Monster Negate, King Synchro, and a pop. King Sarc can also act as a play starter, assuming you draw it with the right card. In this case, we drew Smyger, so I'll show you how to play it when you have the combination of those two. So you'll activate King Sarc, you'll use its effect to pitch the Smyger to send Imsety to grave. Special Imsety to your side of the field. Use Smyger's effect, banishing itself to add inclusion to hand. Activate the inclusion, using its effect to add Salvador to hand. Effect of King Sarc, send in the Salvador to send Happy. Special Happy, and go into a Photon Lord. Next, you want to activate Grave Effect of Salvador to pop the inclusion, summon itself, and then send the trap and the Thrisfern to grave. Use Thrisfern's effect to add Thristaros. Normal summon Thristaros. Go into Ellie. Use its effect to add the trap. And then Thristaros' effect. Popping the Ellie to summon out Self-Apnea and a second copy of itself. Grave effect of Ellie. Summon out Salvador. From here, you can either do a few things. You can either synchro into a drawn dragster and then use your inclusion to summon back out a 5 and then go into Nova. Or we can go into Nova, into Infinity, use the effect of inclusion, summon back out Ellie. So we guaranteed a early pop 2 by setting cluster, and then this can become a spell trap negate when our opponent activates anything. It's a bit of a weird one, but if you open up inclusion plus King Sarc, you also have a full combo, so you'll start off by activating the inclusion, using its effect to add Thrisfern to your hand. On res, you want to activate your King Sarc, activating its effect to pitch the Thrisfern to send a Imsety to the graveyard. Special summon the Imsety to your side of the field, and then activate the grave effect of Thrisfern, banishing itself to add Salvador to hand. From here, you want to activate King Sarc, pitching the Salvador to send your other Horus name, Happy. Special summon Happy to your side of the field. And from here, you want to insulate yourself by going into your early monster negate, using your 2 Horus monsters. Then, since we no longer care about restrictions, we can use the Salvador's effect to target the inclusion, popping it, summon itself, and we are now machine locked, and then we'll use its effect to send 2. Since we've already sent the Thrisfern, we kind of need access to Thristaros, so we'll send that to the graveyard, and then we'll want to send Smyger so we have access to the trap. From here, I'd activate inclusion first to summon back out the Thristaros to our side of the field. This is just in case our opponent decides to hand trap us when we do the Smyger search, we can change Thristaros. So we'll add cluster to hand. From here, you want to summon out Ellie using your 2 bodies. Activating its effect to add the banished Smyger back to hand. Then the grave effect of Thristaros, banishing itself to destroy that, summon out 2 Crystrons from your deck, one of which has to be Self-Hafnir, and the other should be your Thursaros to block you or insulate you into Nibiru. Or even though we have protection against it, it's just a good habit to have. Then we'll activate Eliskeli's effect to summon a 5 from grave. We want to synchro into Dawn Dragster using our Thursaros and the Self-Hafnir. Activate the grave effect of Self-Hafnir, pitch in the Smyger we added to hand. Summon itself to outside the field, destroy itself, and then special summon out another copy of Self-Hafnir from deck. From here, we can special summon out Nova, and then special summon out Infinity. Now, there was a couple of things you could have done when you had the Thursaros, Self-Hafnir, and Salvador on field. Like, for example, you could go immediately into Infinity and leave the Thursaros on your side of the field for your opponent's turn to quick synchro. The reason why I prefer doing this is because we don't rely on them to activate first before we go into Dawn Dragster, so we can have our Spell Trap Negate up as early as possible. So we have Spell Trap Negate, Omni Negate, Monster Negate, a pop. And then obviously we can still summon back our horses the next turn for follow-up. Another weird one, but King Sarc plus Thrustburn was to get you full combo. So we'll activate the King Sarc, and we'll use its effect to pitch the Thrustburn to send Imsety to graveyard. We'll special summon Imsety to outside of the field, and then use the Thrustburn's effect, banishing itself, to add a Smyger to hand. Use King Sarc to pitch the Smyger to send Happy. Special Happy, and go into Photon Lord. Banish Smyger, add Inclusion, activate Inclusion, and you'll want to add a Salvador's hand. Salvador's effect, popping the Inclusion, summon itself to your side of the field, and you want to send Cluster plus Thrustaros. Activate Inclusion to special summon out Thrustaros to your side of the field. Synchro into Eliskeli, using its effect to add the Cluster from Grave's hand. And then Thrustaros' effect, banishing itself, popping the Eliskeli, summoning out a Self-Hafnir and another Thrustaros. And then Eliskeli's effect to summon out the Salvador from grave. Overlay into Nova. And then into Infinity. Set the trap and pass turn. Again, quick synchro, Spell Trap Negate, Omni Negate, Monster Negate, follow up. This hand kind of illustrates how King Sarc can be used as an Imsety replacement, assuming you open it plus more cards in hand. So if you see it in your opener, you're all good. So, but yeah, it is 3-card combo. So you'll activate the King Sarc, and we'll use its effect to pitch the Self-Hafnir in hand, and we will send Imsety to grave. We'll special summon Imsety to our side of the field. From here, you want to activate the Self-Hafnir's effect, destroying the other Synchro in hand with the other Crystron in hand to summon itself, destroying itself to summon out a Crystron from deck. We're going to special summon out Smyger. From here, you want to overlay into Clockwork Knight, or link away into Clockwork Knight, and then you want to activate the grave effect of Smyger, banishing itself to add Inclusion. Activate Inclusion, and we will search Salvador. Use King Sarc to pitch it to send Happy to grave. Summon Happy to your side of the field, and we were still able to make a Photon Lord in, well, I think it's a lot more than 5 summons, but we got to a Photon Lord. If they nib us, they nib us. Activate Salvador's effect, pop in the Inclusion, summon it to our side of the field, and then we will activate its effect. Yeah, let's see if they nib us before we get to the Photon Lord, we can still do our regular Crystron line. So we want to send a Thrustburn to grave and a Cluster. Activate Thrustburn's effect to add the stars. Normal summon. Go into Eliskeli. Use its effect to add Cluster to hand. Grave effect of Thrustaros. Pop in the Eliskeli, summon out 2 from our deck. Since we've already used our second copy of Skelly, we'll have to go for Self-Apnea and Salvador. And then use the grave effect of Skelly to summon back out the banished Thestaros to our side of the field. From here, you want to go into Nova, using your 2 bodies, and then into Infinity. Use Infinity's effect to suck the Clockwork Knight because it is a liability on your side of the field. From here, I would generally activate the Inclusion to banish itself to summon out one of our 5s. It's better to summon out Self-Apnea than it is to summon out Salvador. Set the Inclusion and then pass it. So Omni Negate, Monster Negate, we can either then quick synchro into a spell Trap Negate by going into Dragster, or we can summon out Citri to go into Quarren Gandrax, banish 3, and then pop 2 with Cluster. So when your back's against the wall, Imsety plus a random discard can get you full combo with some luck. So we'll activate Imsety, pitching the random card we had in hand, search King Sarc, and then draw 1 and res. Activate King Sarc, summon Imsety to your side of the field. Now this would be amazing if we drew this Maiga, but we'll pretend as though we didn't. So we'll then activate this effect to discard the unknown random card in hand to send Happy. Special summon Happy to our side of the field. And then you want to go into the Zombie Vampire. Use its effect to mull 4, detaching the Happy so that your Imsety does not get Bastialed. And then special summon one of the cards from Grave. In this case we were lucky we got Salvador, which means we can kind of go full combo. So we'll send the Smyga we didn't have from the deck to Grave, as well as the Thrustphone that we kind of need for our normal summon. Activate a Thrustphone to add Thestaros to hand. Use Salvador's effect to add Inclusion. Normal summon Thestaros. Activate Inclusion. I should have normal summoned the Thestaros before activating the Smyga, but it's all good. And then activate Inclusion to add a Crystron card. We'll add Cluster. Synchro into Skelly. Use its effect to add the banished Smyga to hand. Thestaros' Grave effect to pop the Skelly to summon out a Thestaros and a Self-Apnea. And then Skelly's effect to summon itself. It'll make sense in a second. Then from here, you can synchro summon into a Dawn Dragster. Use the Grave effect of Salvador to destroy the Inclusion. Summon itself to your side of the field. Use the Grave effect of Inclusion to banish itself to summon out Thestaros. And then you want to activate Self-Apnea's effect, pitching the Smyga. Summon itself, pop itself, and then activating its effect in the new chain to summon out another copy of itself. And then we are going into Nova, into Infinity. So yeah, with some luck we actually ended up with a pretty good board. We have a Spell Trap Negate, a Pop 2 because we control Skelly. We have an Omni Negate, and then Thestaros can become a second, either a second Spell Trap Negate, or if we use this early it can then go into Quarren Gandrax. So yeah, those are your combos.